Hello, Taurus. This is your New Year reading for 2020. I already have the cards shuffled, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the deck, and we'll see what 2020 has in store for Taurus. First off, let's go ahead and see what the overall theme of 2019 was for Taurus. The Four of Wands. It looks like 2019 was a great year for Taurus. You had a lot of things to celebrate. You had a lot of joy and harmony in your life in 2019. You did a lot of relaxing. You may have had some sort of homecoming, either your own or a loved one. You just had a lot of blissful happiness and were able to appreciate the good things in your life in 2019, and just did a lot of celebrating with your loved ones. So let's go ahead and see what you need to know for 2020, what your outlook is going to be for 2020. The Two of Swords. This is letting us know that in 2020, Taurus is going to have to face some difficult decisions. There's going to be some things where you have to weigh your options. You may be at an impasse when it comes to some decisions in your life, but there's definitely going to be some challenging decisions that you're going to have to face. And you're going to be unclear about which option to take. Maybe both possibilities seem equally good or both seem equally bad. And you're just stumped about which one will lead to the best outcome. So you're going to have to, take some time to really weigh the pros and cons of the choices and then make a conscious judgment when it comes to them. Let's see what the biggest obstacle Taurus is going to face in 2020. The Justice card. This is indicating that the biggest obstacle that some of you Taurus are going to face in 2020 has to deal with being called to account for your actions and being judged for things that you may have done wrong in the past. Some of the things you may have acted in a way that does not align with your higher self and the greater good for others. And you're going to have to account for those. You're going to have to atone for some of your sins in 2020. This is also indicating that maybe some of you are going to be seeking justice in 2020 for some wrongs that others did to you. So if that is something that you are seeking in 2020, then this is indicating that it will indeed be served in 2020, that justice will be served in 2020. Let's see how you can tackle these obstacles. The reverse Three of Swords. This is indicating that although you may be dealing with some difficult justice, either towards yourself or towards others, you're going to need to find forgiveness within your heart. You're going to have to learn how to let those things go, whether it's forgiving yourself or forgiving others. You're going to have to go through a sort of an emotional purging to really free yourself from your past, and do your best to leave it behind you and move forward on your journey. Next, let's see how your career and financial outlook is going to look for 2020. The reverse Tower. So some of you guys are going to go through some significant transformations when it comes to your career path and your finances. You're going to experience an upheaval when it comes to those things. Some of you might be trying to push back on those things and avert disaster, but this is something that just needs to happen in 2020. That whole structure just needs to come tearing down. So this may be some sort of, change in a job, change in your career path, some sort of changes when it comes to your finances. And although it may cause some chaos in the beginning, it's going to be for what's best for you. So you're going to probably fear this change, but know that it's going to be the best for you in the long run. Next, let's see what your love outlook is going to look like in 2020. The Queen of Swords. This is indicating that some of you, Taurus, are going to just remain independent in 2020. You're going to focus on yourself more than getting involved in a relationship. Some of you may be in a relationship, but you're going to become single in 2020, and really just in order to focus on yourself more, to continue to experience some personal growth. That's going to be what's best for you. Others of you in a relationship are going to have to work on your communication with your significant other and really start to set some clear boundaries when it comes to your relationship. And for some of you, you're going to have to be a truth seeker in 2020. There's people in your relationships that are trying to deceive you, and you're going to have to weed through those and figure out what those deceptions have been. Next, let's see what your spiritual outlook is going to be like for 2020. The Sun. So 2020 is going to be an awesome year for you, Taurus's spirituality. You're just going to really connect with who you are and what your beliefs are, and you're going to be living your truth. You're going to be living and following along the path that best serves you, especially when it comes to your spiritual side. You're also just going to experience a lot of success and abundance in 2020. Let's see what your overview for January through March is going to be. The Six of Cups. So through January through March, you're going to be revisiting some happy memories that you've had in the past, whether it be as a child or a teenager or a young adult. You're just going to be revisiting those memories to kind of remind yourself of all the happy times and do some reconnecting with the person that you used to be, or reconnecting with some of your childhood friends. You're also going to experience an increased level of harmony and cooperation in your relationships during this time. There's going to be a lot of giving and receiving when it comes to those relationships. This is also indicating through January through March, if there's some sort of child in your life, maybe your own child or a grandchild, you may be spending more time with them. If you are trying to get pregnant, January through March is going to be an awesome time for that. Or some of you may even be bringing in new life during this time. Next, let's see how April through June is going to go for Taurus. The reversed Four of Cups. This is indicating that some of you through that April through June time period are going to need to do some retreating and withdrawing and just kind of checking for alignment and making sure things are balanced in your lifetime. It's going to be a period where you need to do some introspection and just retreating into your inner world so you can concentrate on those things that are important to you and important to your path. So if you're feeling withdrawn during this time period, don't force yourself to go out. Just kind of, let yourself be. And then when you're ready, then you can kind of start to reintegrate yourself into the world. So during that April through June time period, it's just going to be a good time for some introspection to kind of check with your inner self to make sure, any sort of upcoming projects or endeavors that you have in your life are a good fit. Let's see how July through September is going to go for Taurus. The reverse King of Swords. This is indicating that July through September, you may be experiencing a time of quiet power. So you may not be the loudest person in their room, but you need to work on that a little bit. You have a lot to contribute and things to share, and you need to work on, really just sharing that with others. This can also allude to some sort of misuse of power. So maybe either yourself or somebody else that's close to you has, let all the power that they've gained go to their head. And, their ego is now running the show. So that could be, something that you're going to have to deal with. Maybe somebody that's trying to manipulate you, or, persuading others in ways that work against you and the greater good. So that's something that you should be aware of for that July through September time. And let's see how October through December is going to be. So October through December is going to be an awesome time for Taurus. The Nine of Pentacles is indicating you're going to experience a lot of abundance and some financial independence in that October through December time period. You may also be experience some of the more luxurious things in life. You're going to feel very self-sufficient during this time period. So all of the things that you worked hard on throughout the year, you're going to start to enjoy the fruits of all of that labor. So definitely look forward to October through December. And lastly, let's go ahead and see what the overall theme of 2020 is going to be for Taurus. The reverse Lovers card. This is indicating that some of you are going to be focusing more on self-love in 2020. That's going to be a big theme for you. Others of you are going to experience some disharmony and some imbalance in 2020 that you're going to want to really work on. You may be out of sync with those around you, especially your loved ones. You may find that your relationships are strained. Communication may be a challenge. So those are some things that you just need to be aware of so you can, continue to work on those. As we saw with a lot of the cards, it's going to be more of a year that's going to be towards finding independence and some self-care and loving yourself instead of a year focusing on those relationships. So it's just going to be more of a self-love and self-respect year and kind of honoring yourself and really kind of figuring your values out and doing some personal growth in 2020. All right, Taurus, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you did. Comment below and let me know what you're most looking forward to in 2020. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm sending you all love and light your way. Hope you have a great new year, and I will see you next time.